Oblivious to his presence, Minsu approached the receptionist and asked if she could meet with the hiring manager. The receptionist informed her that she would need an appointment and that the earliest available slot was the following month, as his schedule was full. Stressed, Minsu asked if they were hiring. The receptionist politely responded that she wasn't aware. Minsu then asked if she could leave her resume with her in case an opportunity arose. The receptionist told her she couldn't promise anything but agreed to accept it. Minsu smiled, thanked her, and placed her resume on the counter. As she turned to leave, her eyes met Sunjin's. Her heart shattered all over again. She stood frozen, watching him with another woman. To save herself from breaking down in public, she turned and ran out. Sunjin immediately got up and ran after her. Outside, he caught up with her and tried to talk, but Minsu kept walking, unwilling to let him see her tears. Sunjin grabbed her hand, stopping her. Without looking at him, she asked what he wanted from her. Sunjin desperately tried to explain that she was misunderstanding the situation, but before he could finish, Minsu cut him off, telling him that it was none of her business. They were no longer together. Nearly in tears, Sunjin told her that everything he was doing was to protect her and that he had never stopped loving her. Minsu remained silent, her tears finally spilling over. Just as Sunjin moved closer to touch her, his date arrived, telling him their food was ready, and they should return inside. Torn between his duty and his heart, Sunjin reluctantly let go of Minsu's hand and walked back into the hotel with the woman. Without looking back, Minsu walked away. She refused to turn around and see him with another woman. It would only deepen her pain. Her only choice was to keep walking and never look back. That night, Sunjin sat in his study, staring at Minsu's resume, which he had taken from the hotel. After a moment, he picked up his phone and made a call. The next morning, Minsu was woken up by an excited call from her parents. They had just seen a statement from Tech Bloom clearing her name. Overjoyed, Minsu quickly checked Tech Bloom's social media page and was stunned to see that it was true. She was relieved that Sunjin had listened to her request and cleared her name. As she got out of bed in a good mood, she received another phone call. A man told her that he had come across her LinkedIn profile and wanted to invite her for an interview the following day. Minsu couldn't believe how quickly things were turning around for her. The next day, Minsu arrived at an art gallery for the interview, feeling both excited and well prepared. As she walked in, she noticed a man painting. She looked around, admiring the artwork. Though the gallery was small, she was grateful for the opportunity to complete her internship. The man noticed her presence, stood up, and walked toward her. He greeted her by name, and Minsu smiled, confirming her identity. Apologizing for his messy hands, the man explained that he had paint all over them and went to wash up. While he was gone, Minsu continued admiring the art pieces. When he returned, he introduced himself as Wooow, the owner of the gallery. He explained that he sometimes encountered legal issues with clients who either delayed payments or sued him over trivial matters, and he needed Minsu to handle those cases. Before she could even respond, Wooow stood up and told her she was hired. She could start the next day. Minsu was stunned at how easily she had secured the job. She thanked him and left. After she was gone, Wooow pulled out his phone and called Sunjin. He told him that he had managed to hire Minsu. Sunjin thanked him and invited him for a drink later that night. Minsu was excited to officially start work the following day. She even had her small office in the corner where she accessed files. The new environment seemed quiet and peaceful, and she thought to herself that she would finally be able to forget Sunjin and move on. She decided to take a short break and went through her social media, where she saw news about Sunjin being seen on a date with the heiress to a gold mine. As she scrolled through the comments, she saw people praising them, stating that they were a good-looking couple and that they were meant to be. Minsu's memories came rushing back, and she couldn't control them or the tears that followed. She ran to the bathroom where she cried to herself, realizing that she had thought she was over him, but in truth, she wasn't. She still loved him deeply and had never stopped. As Woobin passed by the bathrooms, he heard Minsu crying inside. He stood there for a moment, unsure of what to do, then knocked and called her name, but there was no response. Sensing that she needed space, he decided to walk away.